So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly how I passed the 150K challenge in 3 days. I'm gonna give you like the risk control, the mindset, everything that goes into it. I'm gonna show you the dashboard, show you how long it took me. It only took me 3 days in total. Show you the trades I won, show you the one I lost. Um, and yeah, we'll go from there, man. So if you've been looking to pass a challenge, make sure you pay attention. It's not just strategy. There's a lot to it, and it's not as hard as you think, right? So we can go ahead and jump into it. If you're new to the channel, first off, man, welcome. If you've been here before, of course, welcome back. My name is James Strong. I make videos about investing, right? Let me say this. I make videos about managing money, making money, and multiplying money, right? We manage our money, number one, because if you can't manage a dollar, you sure can't manage $1,000 or $100,000. You feel me? And we multiply our money, and we got to make sure we're making good money as well, so we can put our money into assets that appreciate, right? What's the way we do this? We do this by investing in the stock market, and we do this by trading the financial markets, specifically in the futures market. All right. So again, if you're new, man, welcome. Let's go ahead and jump into it. So in this video, let me go ahead and put my screen up so I can show y'all this real quick, right? Where my screen at? All right. So this is dashboard. Just want to refresh it real quick. There we go. So here's the dashboard, right? This is a 150K challenge. It goes to this once you pass the express. So I'm gonna just click back on it, but this is because they're linked once you pass. Now, I want to go through and actually show this first. So you can see 150K, right, is where it starts. You need 9K to pass. Made $9,164.88. It took 3 days to complete, and my winning day percentage is 100%. All right, and you can see my equity curve is just up. Now, these stats and these dashboards, if you never passed these accounts, any challenges, right? I've passed quite a bit at this point. And for y'all who know, my students know, and for y'all who've been following me for a while, I am a personal fund trader. Like, I trade personal funds. I don't trade these because a lot of people, well, clearly I'm trading them, right? But what do I mean by that? I don't trade these really to like make income. This is like stuff I do for like experimentation when I have a new system, things I'm testing, because I'd rather use these than my own personal money until I get all the kinks and the bugs out, stuff like that. You know, and then if I end up doing well, cool, you know, hey, I passed some. But that's not my main priority as a trader. And, you know, really you should be classifying yourself as a fund manager, right? If you're looking to take this not even full time, but if you're looking to take this serious and really grow as a business, your job is to manage funds. It's not to trade every day to have a hobby or a side hustle, right? So I trade personal capital primarily, but clearly I can still pass these as well, because once you understand market structure and you know how to trade, it's all the same, right? But these stats and these dashboards, again, if you never really done these, they're always going to be off, because it doesn't take into consideration, like, you can get in, let's say I'm risking $1,000 for even numbers. If I get in with a contract short by accident, let's say I get in, I'm supposed to have 7 contracts, I put 6 contracts on. If I put one more contract on, now that's making that average jump down. So it's not going to be the same. I'm explaining what my real stats are. Obviously they're still good, right? You can see my average winning trade from what they say is $2,700, average losing $1,600. That's not the case, because my average risk to reward is always over 2 to 1, always. And there's a lot higher than this, right? It says my average risk to reward was 1.61 to 1. Not the case. I track all my own stats. I have custom built spreadsheets and all type of stuff I've been having for years. So that's not the case. And then the win trade percentage is about 89%. That's the only thing that's kind of true. But again, neither here nor there, right? But these, just know, like, when you have your own and you go through this, they are kind of off. Now, if we go to the trades, you can see 3 days. The first one, and I will say this actually should have been passed in 2 trades. The contracts were off. Again, it is what it is, right? I just had to trade another day to get it, but the contracts were off when I was placing my trades, and both of the first two actually hit profit. The only one that hit semi fine was this one, but you can see even it's a short. This was actually, should have been like a $4,700 trade. I would have capped it at $4,500. This one got in super small, so it is what it is. But and then same thing I said, right? You can see this at 60 contracts. There's no way that's accurate because you can't. There's a 15 contract limit. So again, there's always bugs and issues in the back end of these. Just make sure you're tracking your own data and your own information as well when you are taking these, so you can learn from and grow from them, especially if you're not able to pass them. You know, make sure you're having your journal, you're having your notations, and you know what it is you risked. You know, of course, be honest with yourself, and that way you can you can improve and eventually pass it. So first trade was on, I believe it was it Russell? No, it was NASDAQ. The first one was a NAS trade. Again, this one was small. I'm gonna cover this brief because I want to give y'all the tips. So I'm just gonna go through this brief. This didn't give me all my contracts in, so is what it is. So I had a little on a $2,000 win. Next one was gold. Next one was gold. That one also got me in about one contract short. And I say that because I set like pending orders and limit orders. So I have to get in at a specific price the way I trade, right? You know, it's my style and my system. So if it's not at a certain price, I just don't get in extra. You know what I mean? Because it cuts into your overall profit metrics, right? So here's gold, pretty good. Got a 4,000. All right, cool. I was up over 6,000 this point. And then the last day was Russell. This had two entries. So the first one, lost. If this thing will load today, or is it gonna load tomorrow? I'm just gonna explain it for you, right? This thing, if it load when it wants to, we'll see. I'm just gonna refresh the screen. So the Russell one had the overall system, right? It had the first entry lost, and and it's similar to what I said on my Instagram story, right? A different day, but a trade I took last week, and on my personal. A lot of times, if depending on how aggressive you want to get in, and I say aggressive, not risky. I get aggressive. This is what I like. I teach my students. There's ways you can get in conservative, but you're not going to have as big of a risk to reward, or you can get in a little more aggressive. Now, if you get in aggressive, you may lose a little more, but when you hit, you're going to hit bigger risk rewards. So, when I'm hitting a 3-to-1, I can afford to lose more trades because my risk reward is bigger. If I'm hitting a 4-to-1 or 5-to-1, I can risk more. But if you're doing a 1, 1.3, 1.5, you don't have as much room for error, but you may win more. It just depends on your personality. It's not a right or wrong. It's just your personality and what you can execute in real time. So here you can see the P&L low. This was one that lost. That negative 1,600 was an L. Overall, it was still valid. So I got in for the re-entry. In total for that trade, obviously was like what was it? Like 4,000 something, which is how the day ended up being 2,408 in profit. And so it ended up, I went ahead and closed all this stuff. Now, mind you too, so I'm just leave that there. And now I'm gonna give y'all some gems. All right, so now I want to show y'all and give y'all the gems, the things y'all can use to pass this stuff, right? You didn't sing, mine, but now y'all want to do it, right? You want to emulate it. So, one, there's three main things that's going to make the difference, all right, when it comes to you passing or not. So let me share what I did. I don't ever chase profit. A lot of times that's a little counterintuitive to what people think when you get in these challenges. They see that target goal and their mind is go get that. No, trade your system. Just execute your system, which brings me into my next one. When they see that target goal, people are risking to pass, which means they're calculating their risk on how fast they can pass, how much money they can make this day. If it's Topstep or these futures joints, they have because they're different than like the forex ones, but they have a cap for that day. People are trying to hit the max cap. It just so happens the way I trade, because I have a big risk reward, I can be responsible. Now this is the thing. Every trade I took, I didn't risk more than like 1.5% or whatnot. Yeah, 1.5% or something like that. No, 1%. It's 150K account. I never risk more than 1%. You can. That's totally up to you. But understand there's a tight margin for error as well. So all as fast as you saw that three days, that's 1% a trade. I just so happen the way I trade and how I trade market structure, I have a very big risk to reward. Right? If you don't, it's okay. Just understand it's gonna take you the longer, but don't chase the profits. I kept my sizing consistent from day one, so I didn't have dynamic risk where some people say, "Oh, you get in profit and then risk it because the profit." Yeah, no, just be consistent, right? If you start off risking 1%, just keep risking the original amount, 1% of the original amount. Simple as that, because you want to always know what you're gonna lose. You don't want to get up in profit, have dynamic risk, increase your risk, and then now you're in a bigger hole because you lost instead of being break even. So just take your time. A lot of times people do that because of impatience. That's actually a very professional concept that is not talked about enough among the retail space. It's not really for a lot of retail traders. And I mean, truthfully, even if you do it, there's nothing wrong with it. But you should be like, put like this: if you're dynamic risking, you shouldn't even be trading funded accounts at this point, because that is something for people when you have a vast amount of capital. If you've been doing this for 5, 10 years and being profitable. I don't mean 5 years and you're not making money consistently. So just be careful with that. And then thirdly, I was very patient. So I was patient, waiting for quality setups with high risk reward like I trade. I wasn't here to try to trade every single day. So you can see, yes, it was 3 days, but also they weren't consecutive days because an opportunity that I like was not presented every single day. Now, my trading system during the challenge is very simple. For this one, I use a 5-minute entry system, right? I have clear confirmations I use. I teach all this stuff to my students, right? They all know, right? There's no guessing. There's no random trades. It's just simple rules, a simple system custom tailored to you, and you follow it. So this was one of mine that I follow. I took no more than 2 trades a day. Now, the thing about these challenges too is because they have that cap of how much profit you can make, it sucks because sometimes I may have 2 opportunities present themselves on 2 different assets. When it comes to this, obviously I had to sit out. I think one day there actually was, I just had to sit out. It is what it is. But I had, maxed out pretty much what I can make that day on these. And so, yeah, man, make sure you have that system that fits you. Make sure it's tested, tried and true. A lot of people too, they're trading with these, right? Like most people try to blame their psychology and they think this is why most people fail. And really they're coming in and they're trying to prove themselves instead of just passing. And there's a big difference, right? If you're over leveraging or if you're revenge trading, you're going to kill your account. It's as simple as that. So these funded challenges, man, these programs, they're not looking for people to be big winners. Understand that their business model is not built on you being a winner. You have to be very disciplined and be a very disciplined trader to make money doing this. This is simple as that. And to pass this. So remember, the objective is not to be gained by the system, it's to play the game. There's a reason they have monthly fees on these futures things now. And I'm going to say this for a whole nother video. I'm going to make one specifically on these funded, companies, these prop firms, and, my thoughts on something like that. And by no means, trust and believe, I'm not sponsoring nothing. That's why I don't talk about them. That's just want to give information. If y'all want to pass this, you can use this company, use whoever you want. I don't have a link for them. And if I did, obviously, I look out for you guys and give it to you, but I don't have one for them. Just sharing my journey with them, right? And I don't plan on really trading this like a personal account because it's not. There's too many rules. There's too many stipulations, right? Again, I trade personal capital. But my advice, if you're about to take one of these challenges and you're looking to pass, or especially if you've been failing for a lot, right? Stick to one system, okay? Master it before you start, man. Like I said a while ago, a lot of people think they have a psychological problem. No, they don't have edge. You truly don't have edge. If you can't tell me how your system did last, I was about to say it in Spanish because I've been learning Spanish. But if you can't tell me what it did last autumn, right? In 2024, in 2023, of course, depending now, if you're scalping, you might not have 2023 data, but even I have intraday system back in data in 2023, right? If you can't tell me far back, if you can't tell me what's the biggest loss it had in the last year, you know, you're lacking a lot of information that you may not, well, that you don't have. So it's going to cause a lot of psychological issues. So stick to one system and make sure you have a real edge. Again, if you don't, make sure you join my next challenge so you can learn from somebody who's doing this and learn the proper way and build a proper foundation. Simulate your rules, man. Set them up beforehand and understand what it is you're going to risk, you know, where you're getting in, where you're getting out, all these good things, and know what you're doing. And don't get into this and just try to wing it and figure it out, because then you're going to get emotional. You know, then you're going to start, if you have any type of piece of game plan, if you don't have it all down, that's going to go out the window. You're going to toss it out the window. And now you just in there just gunslinging, hoping you pass. And then you just going to put it all on and risk it, and then you're going to lose. And I'm pretty sure that's why, you know, a lot of people, if you, some of y'all watching, I'm pretty sure that's why you never had a payout, even if you pass these things. And so, you know, again, I'm not talking from outside of my neck. I mean, even my students saying, like, I literally had a payout from companies, and I put them in the chat, and then I use them just for life stuff, because like that's how I have that account set up. Again, my main investments are from my personal, so anything that comes from these just extra money, you know, investment money, or things to reward myself and my family with, right? Stay patient, man. Your job is to pass. All right, your job is not to show off. You don't have to tell anybody, right? I wasn't even gonna make this video, man, but because I'm a very to myself person. You know, even though like I'm on social media to an extent, you know what I mean, I'm still to myself a lot. But I wasn't gonna make this video, man. Like, you know what? I just want to show people what's possible. You know what I mean? So just to show you, give you information. A lot of people talk about the system, the strategy, and all this stuff. You can pass with any system as long as you're patient. You know, you can pass, but you have to have a real edge. It's going to expose you now. And then again, the main one, don't increase your size, man. Stay consistent with these things, man. Even if you up big, stay consistent. Don't think, okay, you 3,000 away, let you double your risk. Do what's been working. If you got up 6,000, just keep doing what's working. All right. So, man, look, we got my Futures of Freedom challenge going on actually right now. Join that, right? Join my Futures of Freedom challenge. If you're trying to get more information, you want to learn from the ground up about futures trading, and you want to have a strong foundation, to make sure you join that. And if you're interested in working for me one-on-one, so you can pass challenges at the snap of a finger, you can have a 150K, you know, Topstep account, a Blue Guardian account, a Funded Trading Plus, you know, Apex, whatever, right? It's all the same. If you want to learn how to change your life, man, you know, then you can apply to work with me. Again, I only work with serious people. That's another reason I've been onboarding new students for this month's enrollment, and, you know, new people for the challenge as well, right? So, but yeah, man, if you're interested in taking it serious, man, you know, again, you can join the next Futures of Freedom challenge. Or if you're ready and you say, hey, you know, I'm ready to look and change, make a change in my life, then make sure you apply to work one-on-one with me. But again, only apply if you're serious, because yeah, I don't got time for no action fakers or no lazy people, because we out here really getting money, man. So, man, I hope you got value. Take all these things, take note of them, and use this when you're taking your next challenge, so you can make sure you increase your probability of passing. But until next time, much love.